Hey guys, how's it going? Chris Kiefer, welcome to the YouTube channel. I am out here at Glen Helen Raceway today, and we are back from Loretta Lynn's. I've been getting a lot of emails asking about my bike from Loretta Lynn's. So let's take a second and go over what I did to my bike at Loretta Lynn's. First things first, why do I ride a Yamaha YZ450F? So been on the Kawasaki KX450 a lot. Almost was gonna race that. Just quite wasn't there with my suspension setting yet. I had more time on this bike with suspension, and I had more paperwork, aka more notes from Loretta's on a Yamaha, so I thought I would just stick it out and ride a YZ450F. One reason, because I can get good starts on a YZ450, and if I want to see Brownie, which I never do anyway, I need to get a good start. So that's one of the main reasons why I chose a YZ450 for the ranch. And for you guys wondering, I purchased this bike just for Loretta's from Power Motorsports. So for those of you guys out there thinking, oh, Kiefer gets everything for free, I do get a lot of stuff for free, but actually purchased this bike myself for Loretta's. So this bike is for sale now. So if anybody wants to buy this bike, it's for sale. Chris at KieferIncTesting.com. You can hit me up and maybe work out a deal. So, all right, so what is done to my YZ450F and what you guys maybe should do to yours at home? Maybe not level of importance, but for me, first things first, stock muffler is really good, but it just has too much power for me. This bike in general is just a lot of low end response and a lot of front side. So for me, I like to tame that down. So what I do is I put an Akrapovic muffler on here. Gerbil can get a close up on. Yes, I did pay for this muffler with my own money. It is expensive. It was about $1,600. But it does shape the power quite nice on this thing. It mellows out the front side, gives you a smoother roll on, doesn't have that herky-jerky feel like the stock muffler does on this bike. So at Loretta Lynn's, when it's deep conditions, you're getting tired, like I did this year a lot, I need something a little bit smoother. So this is a lot of bike. I'm trying to tame it down and get a lot of rear wheel traction. So a Akrapovic muffler, put this thing on. I will say this, FMF does make a great muffler as well, similar to this Akrapovic design, but for the simple fact of durability, I put the Akrapovic on because it lasts 30 hours without any muffler packing. The FMF, I'll have to repack it every 10 hours or so, and I didn't want to do that because I was leaving early to ride in Oklahoma at Gay Moto and then at the ranch, so I'd spend a lot of time on there and I didn't want to have to repack a muffler. So if you're looking for a good power, Akrapovic FMF, nice engine character for this Yamaha, tames it down, makes it a little bit mellower. So those are the two mufflers that I choose on this bike. Second thing is a Vortex ECU. Some of you guys are saying, why do you want more power? Nope, I am changing the power with the Vortex ECU. Chad at XPR worked quite a bit with him on my previous Loretta Lynn's bikes. No different in 2024. We worked hard at it, and we got a nice map that he has that's available for you guys out there that smooths it out, makes it really long and linear to ride. I don't know how many guys have ridden this bike before Loretta Lynn's and they were quite impressed. Travis Preston, Yamaha R&D rider, says one of the best bikes he's ridden, just for the simple fact of the power character and how easy it is to ride. So XPR, Vortex ECU, the Akrapovic, those two engine mods right there is all I did. And the key thing is, it's just trying to get control and rear wheel traction to this bike. This bike is an exciting bike to ride, but I'm not man enough to hang on to it for 20 minutes. So I need something more mellow. And those two things actually do that to this bike. Now let's talk about the one thing that I really don't like about the Yamaha, and that's a little bit of the chassis stability. I want more stability just from this chassis. You guys have heard me say I like the 2022 YZ450 is probably the most stable bike for me that I've ridden in the last 5 years or so. They went away from that in 2023. Corners better, more front end traction, but stability wise, it's just not up to par for what I need from a 450. So what do I do? Chris from FCP came out and we did some testing on engine mounts. You guys can see these. And on the front, that engine mount, and that's a solid piece front engine mount, unlike the stock one where it's a two-piece. So what this does alone is gives the bike a more planted feel, stuck to the ground better, and a little bit more front end traction. That is great, that's what I needed. And then right before I left, I tried FCP's race cups, which are races for the headset. You can get in here. And that makes a little bit of a difference as far as length of motorcycle. So what I like to call 20 degrees. Some of you guys don't call it that, but it's a 20 degrees difference from the stock races. I don't change the offset on the motorcycle for this specific setup because I wanted it to corner from Loretta Lynn's, and that guy's gonna rev his bike for about 5 minutes. That's awesome. So for me, 20-degree races, that's what you needed to do to kind of get more stability out of the bike, and that helps it just create a little bit of a less twitchy feel. When you're coming into a corner, you have a long rut with bumps inside of it, or here like on the West Coast where you have a lot of chop and you're on the edge of your tire. Those races actually help calm this bike down completely. So that is huge. Normally we don't get that. Us normal folk don't get races. They're expensive to make. Race teams have them, but not until recently. When Chris made these, there was no way for us normal guys to go get them, but now you can. He's making them for a lot of bikes. I don't know if every bike needs them, but this bike does. It benefits from it. So I put them on, I liked it, I kept with it, and it worked really well at Loretta Lynn's. I really enjoyed it, especially when you have a long rut coming in and you have all these imperfections and bumps inside of them. This Yamaha was really calm. I would say, I'd go as far as saying this was the best race bike that I've had in the past 5 years. Just for a setting at Loretta Lynn's. My body was probably the worst it's ever been for this year, but my bike itself, man, it was unbelievable and really easy to ride, and I really enjoyed riding it as long as I could, which wasn't that long, but man, it is makes a huge difference. For just those 4 things makes this bike hugely different from a stock one. Another thing that I like, Brembo brakes. Yep, my guy's gonna fall over here on my camera. So this is an 07 master cylinder from a KTM. And then if you go down here, we have an 07 caliper from a YZ450. And some of you guys are asking me why the 07 model, because the piston size, I like that feel from the lever. So this is a whole Doug Dubach mod. He told me about it. I didn't use it for the longest time, but then I tried it and I'm like, holy crap. So if you guys want a stronger brake, this is the mod to go to. You can go to keeferinctesting.com, just search Brembo brake mod for Yamaha. That will pop up. I'll give you all the part numbers, and then you have a stronger, more linear feel for your Yamaha YZ450 and not that on-off spongy feel from the stock one. I hate that. So this is another thing that's a huge mod for this bike, especially if you want to have good stopping power. Past that, Dunlop MX3S front tire. Like that 3S front tire in soft conditions. I ran a scoop most of the time, besides the second moto where they watered the shit out of the start and I spun because I was on an MX34, went back to an MX14 scoop for the third moto, got a better start, pulled whole shot the first moto on an MX14. So for the guys who are wondering, they make a big deal out of the scoop on these outdoor national broadcasts. Look, if you have any kind of soft condition at your local track and maybe just a couple hard spots, I would go MX14 over a 34 any day, because the 14 is so much better in the soft stuff versus the 34. Hard pack is gonna feel like hard pack regardless of what tire you're on. You're still gonna slide, you're still gonna spin. Yes, lean angle is a little bit better in the hard pack on an MX34, but man, if you're straight on that tire, the MX14 is so much better, and it's like cheating. So if you guys notice that a lot of your competitions on MX34s on the line and your conditions are intermediate to soft, go to MX14. You'll get a great start, and man, it's hard to beat an MX14 in soft conditions. Past that, underneath here, it says GYTR, but there's a Hinson full clutch basket inside of there. I'm hard on my clutches. I drag my clutches a lot, especially at the lever coming out of corners, because I slip it to keep my front end down. Instead of letting off the throttle, I fan my clutch, so I'm constantly slipping my clutch and prevent it from getting hot and roaching out my clutch plates. Hinson whole basket, inner pressure plate, and of course the basket itself with the plates. That's the mod I'm going to for the clutch. I usually have an XBR water pump jacket on here. Didn't put that on because I just bought the bike and didn't have time to put it on, but that is a good way to prevent melting this thing down in hot conditions, because I've seen these things melt. So if you're looking for an aluminum water jacket, Chad at XBR does sell those. And right here, maybe another piece to the puzzle for you guys that are 6 foot. These are Pro pegs, open cleat design pegs with Works Connection titanium foot peg mounts. And what that does is open up the cockpit a little bit. These were meant for 2022 or older Yamahas. Those were -5 down, -5 back. But since the 2023 Yamaha changed the cockpit a little bit, and we now are at -2 down and -2 back. So it's not a huge difference, but it does make a difference when it comes to putting your legs on the foot pegs and how high or low you sit. Guts racing seat for traction. Also Phantom foam. I hate soft foam, so this is a little bit firmer. With this shape, the shape kind of hurts my ass a little bit, so I stick with the stock shape, but a little bit of firmer foam, and I don't bottom it out on the edges of the foam, so that is quite comfortable as well. And then the suspension spec I use, this isn't the suspension spec that I used at Loretta Lynn's, but REP did a set of suspension for me, and Mark and the guys did a great job. Like I said, it's probably the most comfortable I've been in a long time. He has a good setting for the Yamaha. I run my stuff stiffer at Loretta Lynn's than I normally do out here on the West Coast because it's just such a grabby dirt. You're inside these ruts that want to pull you down. You get off the throttle, and just the dirt itself is heavy. So I learned over the years that I need my stuff stiffer. Mark and the guys created that setting. Cole Martinez, he did really well this year. He was on REP on his Yamaha, and he did really well. I got a chance to ride his bike in Oklahoma. His was a little bit stiffer than mine, so he rode mine and thought I had a little bit more comfort, but he is a lot more aggressive than I am of a rider, so I need stuff a little bit softer and more calm. But Mark and the guys over at REP does a great job for this Yamaha YZ450 setting. And then last but not least, gearing 1349, ran stock gearing, and Renthal 672 bend bars with Renthal half waffle soft grips, and I run a stock clutch perch just for the feel. Works Connection also offers a great clutch perch feel with the lever. I've heard Works Connection is starting to do some different things with levers, starting to reshape them, so that is coming down the pipe, so that's exciting. And basically that's my Loretta Lynn's bike. I've got some anchor tape, grip tape that's been on for the whole week. You can see the damage. So that is basically 4 motos, which in the world of grip tape is a long time. Little grip on the sides, here on the frame, so anchor tape. You can go check that out on online. And that's my steed from Loretta's. If you have any questions, Chris at KieferInkTesting.com is the place. It's a virtual door to kick open, ask me questions, unless I'm overheated and dying like I was at Loretta's. Wasn't pretty, but we'll try to come back again next year on a different bike. It's gonna be a different bike next year, so we'll see how we do. But again, we're here to help you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Throw a thumbs up, give me a comment, tell me what you guys think. See you at the track.